uh, so, this week's episode was kind of interesting. We open up with the Nono family discovering an ad in the paper advertising a sale on eggs at the market. And they proceed to lose their minds over this, with the exception of Kotori. Hana even taking Hime's gimmick to the absolute extreme. I mean, granted, 20 yen for a whole carton of eggs is insane, but I think even Al Pacino would say you guys are overacting a little. Understandably wanting them to calm the hell down, Ruru volunteers to go to the market. On her way, she meets up with Emiru and... You know, it takes a special kind of episode to reach God tier status before the opening even plays, but there you go. So yeah, after her one encounter with the Precure, Emiru decided to go right into obsessive fangirl territory and emulate her idols. Ruru actually buys into her Precure play acting a little and goes in for a closer look. Not gonna do it, not today. Well, while she does recognize that Emiru has some potential as a Precure, she ultimately drops the subject after detecting no Mirai crystal on her and proceeds to the market. Though, for whatever reason, Emiru decides to follow the lady who just gave her the death glare and gives her a bunch of safety tips, even acting them out for her in ways that should not be physically possible, including generating wind out of nowhere. Like, does she have the powers of Haruhi or something? Because this is starting to get a little ridiculous. As a means of possibly breaking away from Emiru and her obsession with safety, we call over to Homari and Saya. They ask each other about their personal pursuits and they... do their best impressions of Dick Van Patten from Spaceballs? Seriously, what the hell was that? Oh, and Saya finds Emiru's slapped together Precure cosplay cute. Okay, so obviously we won't find any more sanity here, so may as well cut back to Ruru participating in a bento brawl.
Good! You win!
Yeah, sorry hero, gotta give this one to Ruru. Meanwhile, Emiru tries to help as many people as she can, including I think the old lady from the first episode. It doesn't really go well, like, at all. But Ruru unintentionally compliments her by pointing out how, despite her failures, she managed to make everyone she tried to help smile, most likely because they got as much a kick out of her antics as us, the audience. Touched by her indirectly kind words, Emiru invites Ruru to her house in a not at all creepy fashion. Again, we tried to take a break from all of this insanity by checking in on our main heroines. And it turns out to be not at all better after Hakutan decides to say her second and third words of Homari and Saya respectively, sending the Precure into full-on doting parent mode. Hana also tries to get her to say her name and... No! No! Okay, fine, just get it over with. Hey, where are you going? Back with the oddest couple, Emi reveals her deep, dark secret to Ruru. Yeah, I'm in agreement with those two. Nothing can really shock me about this episode at this point. Anyway, Emiru asks her not to mention the whole superheroine act to her parents, as she doesn't want them to worry about her. Okay, that's a fairly down-to-earth little statement, and I'm sure nothing else would be insanely over the top like that house! I mean, good god, that thing is huge. What kind of bourgeois parents does Emiru have? Yokoso! Where am I? Who are all of you? What is life? So, during that little display, Emiru's older brother also introduces himself. Understandably wanting to get away from all of these weirdos, Emiru takes Ruru to her room. Amongst the obsessive amount of pink and creepy plushies, Ruru takes notice of Emiu's musical instruments, having never heard music within her lifetime. Feeling sorry for her, Emiu decides to teach her the basics, using a special hidden instrument in her room that I question how she managed to create this apparatus under her parents' noses. But hey, at least it leads to the first quiet scene in this whole damn episode. Emiu plays a little tune that, while technically simplistic, has more than enough heart in it that resonates with Ruru. For once, it's not something she can quantify in any way, but simply something she finds pleasure in. It's a genuinely sweet scene that's unfortunately ruined by Emiu's brother.
女の子は女の子らしく、ピアノやバイオリンの方が似合っていると思う。
And I instantly found my least favorite character in this show. Seriously, does this D-bag not realize it's 2018 and how repugnant his statements are? Even Ruru doesn't put up with his crap and rightfully calls him out. And like most guys of his breed, the minute he's faced with a strong member of the opposite gender, he backs off. Ruru then talks to Emiu while, oh my god!
Almost there, Adam. Just a little more.
Having dealt with the biggest monster of this episode, the Yoshimada this week, quite frankly, looks like small beans. Hell, we barely even get a glance of the victim he's created from before the Precure transform. Cure Emiu decides to help, despite Ruru's rightful objections that she's not actually a Precure. However, real or not, she can't just stand by and watch others get hurt, like a stupid kid who can't get out of the way. Seriously, kid, they're called legs, try using them sometime. She manages to protect him with a little help from the actual superheroines, and Hana gives Emiu her approval, and they proceed to take out the Yoshimada.
Normally I'd complain about this week's fight being too short, but really, I just want to take a nap at this point, so I happily welcome it.
After the fight, Emiu admits that she was more than a little terrified by the whole situation. Thankfully, Ruru again comforts her by admitting that she did something similar. Believing she's found a kindred spirit, Emiu gives the second creepiest smile in this episode and suggests they emulate the OG Precure. Thus, the episode ends with Ruru giving the creepy loli the most appropriate answer.
So, what did you think of this week's episode, baby? Yes, I could not agree more!
Okay, speaking seriously for a minute, this was an endlessly entertaining episode. After the hilarity that was Hana and Ruru's episode, it should come as no surprise that an episode with a character who's just Hana with the ham cranked up would be even more gut-busting. This was emphasized thanks to the endless barrage of visual humor, compliments of animation director Kazuhiro Ota, who gave us this classic scene from Princess, longtime creator Emiko Miyamoto doing storyboards, and episode director Yuta Tanaka, who gave us the other god-tier episode of this season. Yet it wasn't all just OTT reactions and creeper smiles, as they also managed to slip in some more somber moments between these two. I especially loved how they developed Emiu through them. Putting aside how ludicrously over the top her parents are, it's clear that Emiu has had a very oppressive family life. Thus, it could be interpreted that her need to help others stems from a desire to give people a better life than her own. God knows living with a pig-headed brother like hers must be all kinds of hell. Yet by that same token, her oppressive upbringing has led her to become a little bit too pushy at times. She is showing signs of developing a little more restraint, like not forcing Ruru to come with her, and ultimately not being reckless as she acknowledges the danger of getting involved in the Yoshimada attacks, but wants to help regardless. Meanwhile, Ruru also suffers from communication issues, but from the opposite spectrum. She's restrained her emotions too much, to the point she can't even recognize her own desires. Yet, she too is starting to change thanks to her interactions with the Precure as well as Emiu. Hopefully these two can meet in the middle, and who knows, maybe Emiu's dreams of a Precure duo won't seem quite as outlandish. Though, might need to work on that costume. You look more like Mike Kirby than a Precure.
If you haven't seen it yet, check out my review for the second volume of the Kiakira Precure a la mode manga. It includes a fun, kind of touching little alternate take on the epilogue to that particular series. Right now I'm working on the review for the Sweet Precure movie, as well as another certain side project, though I'll hold off on revealing it just yet. Regardless, look forward to both of them, and until then though, farewell for now my friends, and... I must return to my home planet! They need me! Whoosh! Ow.